Well, everyone, it's time for us to go ahead and compare the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 to see which one is a better one for you. Now, I will tell you, if you have all the money, some would say get the Watch 5 Pro, but I think for some, I would say for a majority of people, the Watch 5 may be the better one for you. But if you want to pick either one of these watches, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there. You can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off, I do have the smaller sized Watch 5. So this is the Watch 5 standard one. It's the 40 millimeter one, and this is a very good watch. I've used it for a little bit of time, and it's been a great watch. There's really not too much to kind of complain about it. I think it's a good watch. You have very similar features between both. So you are getting an overall more featureful device from the Watch 5 Pro, but the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 is still a very relevant watch. Now with the Watch 5 Pro, this is definitely a behemoth of a watch. It's honestly one of the thickest watches I've ever seen. Now display wise, you are getting that bigger sized watch. There's only one model of the Watch 5 Pro, but there are two models of the Watch 5. The smaller one, 40 millimeter, and the 45 millimeter one, I believe. On the Watch 5 Pro, on the other hand, you are getting that bigger sized one, so there's no smaller model. On top of that, the Watch 5 is built out of aluminum, from what I can tell. The Watch 5 Pro is built out of titanium, so it's also built a little bit better on this specific watch as well. Now, in terms of thinness and thickness, this is the big differentiating factor that I really want you to focus on. The Watch 5 Pro is definitely a much thicker watch. I would probably say from its thickest to the thinnest point, it's probably twice the thickness as the Watch 5 Pro. So you can kind of get a gauge of how it is for you. You can pause the video and kind of look at it. It's definitely a much thicker watch. And also, not only in terms of the chassis, but the back of it sticks out a lot more than the Watch 5. So definitely keep that in mind. If you're wanting a thinner watch, the Watch 5 may be the better one for you. Now on the back, we have similar setups, but a little bit different. Like I said before, because the Watch 5 is a little bit thinner, it is a little bit easier to hold in the hand. It's also a little bit, less heavy compared to the, Watch 5 Pro, but that's kind of covers it up on the outside. The button placements are almost identically the same. They are relatively the same type of style as well. But like I said, you are getting an overall bigger watch by quite a bit margin compared to the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5. Now, what I will also like to add internally, there are so many similarities. Both watches come in the same exact storage models. So 16 gigabytes of storage on both these watches, which is great. You're also getting the same amount of RAM between both as well. So they are both 1.5 gigabytes of RAM, which is great. That's a lot of RAM to have on a watch. I don't really think you're going to be utilizing all of it, but it is a really nice touch to have that much RAM inside of these. Now, the display is the really big difference here. From what I can tell, the display on the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 are very similar. There's not too many differences. And I didn't mean to say there were many differences. There were, the same watches, which is really good. And in terms of the actual sensors and the watch styles and everything like that, well, pretty much whatever you can do on one watch, you can do on the other. So you all have pretty much the same heart monitor, ECG, blood pressure, those types of sensors on both watches, which is really nice. You have the same type of, charging capability. You can charge these from the back of, a lot of Samsung phones if you're supporting it. But a big difference, as you could probably tell, is the battery life. Even on the biggest model of the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5, which is that, top tier model, and this one that I have is 284 milliamp hours. The higher end one, which is the one right above this one, is 410 milliamp hours. This is where the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 kind of takes it up a notch. This battery has a 590 milliamp hour battery inside of it. That is a massive size battery to have on a device like this. It is probably, I think, one of the biggest batteries I've seen on any Samsung Galaxy watch, or really any watch ever made for the most part. I mean, that is a massive size battery. So I will tell you, if you're somebody who's in the market and you plan on utilizing a watch and you plan on going if you want to go days on end without having to carry around an extra charging bank and you don't have a Samsung phone, you can't charge this, watch from your device. Well, the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 Pro is probably the better option for you. I think this is a tremendous watch with a bunch of capability built in. Like, this thing pretty much has it all, and I like this watch a lot. But I don't really think it's probably the best one for everybody. Like, I think the big issue I have with it is probably the thickness. When I first, picked up this watch, I honestly didn't know what I was expecting. But after looking at it, I mean, it is a really big watch. And if you're not comfortable carrying around such a massive watch, well, it may not be the most comfortable thing for you. So I'd hate to recommend a watch for people to buy if you're not comfortable using such a big watch. That's kind of, just me being honest. That's why I think something like the Galaxy Watch 5 may be the better option for a vast majority of people watching. If I were to use a watch, I think the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 would be the better one for me. There are still a lot of features for the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. This thing has, like I said, a lot of capability built in, has a lot of capability for sure. So with the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, this specific watch is costing $450. I didn't even realize it was that expensive. The thing Samsung does on their website, that they add all these deals so it makes it look way cheaper. It's not that cheap. It's actually a very expensive watch. $450 for this specific watch. The Samsung Galaxy Watch 5, if we just spec it out for the 44 millimeter size, so this one is 45. If we were to spec it out for the 44 millimeter size for this specific watch, this one costs $310. So there is a big difference between the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 price and the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. For that Pro model, I would say you're getting a little bit more of a durable watch. You're getting a watch that definitely is very powerful. But the power between something like a Galaxy Watch 5, you can even see this. But you can tell that between the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 and the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, there are definitely a lot of similarities, but there's also differences. I personally would look at something like the Watch 5 Pro as almost more of like, if like you're running out of battery constantly on your current, Samsung Galaxy Watch 5, if you're feeling like it's just constantly not, keeping up with what you want to do with it, if it's severely limited in the battery standpoint, or maybe you want a watch that is a little bit more durable, well, maybe it makes sense at that point to go to the Watch 5 Pro. However, if you're somebody who's never used a Samsung watch before, you're somebody who has no experience with smartwatches, or maybe you're coming from a very old version of your watch and you think maybe you need to get something like a Watch 5 Pro, I can definitely tell you the Watch 5, the standard one that I have here, this is the cheapest one you can buy, and even this one has so much capability. Realistically speaking, the capability between a Watch 5 and a Watch 5 Pro, they're pretty much the same thing. Really, what you can do on one, you can do on the other. This one has a ton of capability built in as well. You can pretty much have the same exact styling. The only thing with the Watch 5 Pro that is really intriguing to me personally is probably the battery. The thickness of this thing is crazy, but it makes sense because you can get such a thick watch with so much capability built in, very similar to the Watch 5, but it has that big size battery. It has, better displays for the most part, I would say, and it's a really good watch. You can't really go wrong with either one, but if the Samsung trade-in credit that you're currently getting on your Watch 5 Pro is very good, meaning you can go and get this thing for maybe like $200 or something like that, as I saw when I actually got this thing, I got it for about $200 because of Samsung trade-in, well then that makes a little bit more sense to me. At that point, I would highly recommend buying it because then, you're pretty much getting it for half the price or even less than half the price, which is great. But I would say for a majority of people out there, even if these were the same price, the thickness is the thing that's going to bother a lot of people. I don't really like having like such a massive thick watch. Even with my Apple Watch that I currently have, it is significantly thinner than this specific watch. So because of that, I don't know if I would feel comfortable having such a thick thing sticking out of my hand, like sticking out of my wristwatch like every single day. I feel like that would be kind of inappropriate to be honest. That's why I looked at something like the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5, and this is the watch I would recommend probably for 99% of people watching this video. Unless you know what you're doing and the Watch 5 is the one you're wanting, then by all means go for it. This is the better watch here. Don't let me, try to sway you. This is the better watch in every single dimension, but this is the one that's probably going to be more comfortable, and you're going to be completely happy with the Watch 5 and or the, top tier Watch 5, the 44 millimeter one too. So in terms of that kind of covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.